Have you ever had somebody apologize for something, and then afterwards, you just can't put your finger on it, but there's something off. There's something wrong with that apology. You don't feel softened. The issue does not feel resolved. You feel like maybe they haven't fully taken responsibility for the action that required the apology. So what makes a good apology? A good apology will accept responsibility for the action that caused the hurt. And a faux apology or a non-apology is basically a clever rephrasing of the words to avoid the responsibility. And that's really the key difference. A good apology will accept the responsibility and blame, and a bad apology will deflect that or push it elsewhere. Another important part of a real apology is there will be some kind of actions or a subtext underneath that says that this person is going to try to do different in the future. They've now come to a new realization. They're sorry about what they did, and now going forward, I am going to act different. And that's almost what making amends is. Making amends is the actions that prove the apology was legitimate. Faux apology number 1. This is the I'm sorry, but, and it's basically an excuse-making apology. If you ever have the word but after an apology, you pretty much can almost guarantee that it's not a real apology. Because what is it doing? Instead of accepting the responsibility, it's pushing it off onto something else. I'm sorry, but I was just having a really rough day. I am sorry, but you just ask way too much out of me. You know, I am sorry for that, but it's your mistake, so what can you do? Apology number 2. I'm sorry that you, and it's basically a blaming apology. The key with the I'm sorry that you apology is instead of apologizing for the action or event that caused the hurt, they actually apologize for the hurt itself. So instead of apologizing for the problem, they apologize for the repercussion of the problem. Basically, this is just a really clever way of avoiding taking responsibility. So, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that you feel hurt. Basically, it's inappropriate for somebody to apologize for my feelings or my hurt, because those are my feelings. They can apologize for what caused the feelings or may have caused the hurt, but to actually apologize for the hurt itself is a little bit missing the mark. Unless they said, I apologize for calling you a jerk and I really feel sorry that you're hurting. That goes together. The first step is to apologize for the action and take responsibility for it. And if they skip that part and just go straight to the repercussion of the problem, then that's not a real apology. No, I am sorry that you just respond poorly to my perfection. What can I say? Faux apology number 3, and that is the I'm sorry if. And that is basically a conditional apology. This apology is just a really lazy apology, because if you're saying the word if in front of an apology, you don't even really know what the problem is. It'd be like saying, I'm sorry if I hurt you, or I'm sorry if I said something that was hurtful, or I'm sorry if I punched you in the face. You have to be able to identify the problem first and foremost before you apologize for it. And putting an if in front completely negates that. You can't apologize until you know the problem. And that's why it's just a really lazy apology. It's basically trying to not do the work, the hard work first, before the apology begins. I just want to apologize because I'm just really sorry if I did something sometime that may or may not have caused you some hypothetical pain. Faux apology number 4 is the I already apologized for this apology, also called the déjà vu apology. So let's say something happens, you feel like you deserve an apology, somebody gives you a nonsense apology. You're not satisfied, the issue isn't closed, this goes on for a bit. So then later on you bring it up again. So rather than that person recognize that this issue isn't closed and they need to address this issue with you, they might throw out a déjà vu apology, and it's something like, well, I already apologized for that. And it's sort of a bit of a guilt trip. It's like saying, well, I already apologized for that, so you should just drop it. You need to get your head on straight. This has been dealt with. But the reality is it hasn't been dealt with. They maybe threw out an earlier faux apology, and now they are trying to deflect that with the déjà vu apology. I already apologized last week for all the possible mistakes I've ever committed and will ever commit again in the future, so I don't really need to apologize again. Faux apology number 5, the I didn't mean to apology. So this apology kind of assumes that you're misunderstood rather than you actually understand and are accepting responsibility for the action that caused the hurt. I didn't mean to accidentally elbow you as I went by, or I didn't mean to say that thing that was hurtful. I really didn't know it was that hurtful. And the problem with this apology is it doesn't really accept responsibility. It doesn't find out from the person if they were hurt and then own that. Yes, that was a hurtful thing, so I'm going to apologize for it. It's sort of just a lazy way of avoiding it altogether. I'm sorry, but I really didn't know that was a big deal, so that's why I'm just still perfect. How do you plead? I'm sorry, Your Honor. I really didn't mean to stab that guy 30 times. Oh, well, you didn't mean it? In that case, not guilty. You can go free. Faux apology number 6, and that is the blanket apology. This is one faux apology that really gets me. And it's basically when people try to apologize for everything all at once. Like, let's say there's been a pattern of bad behavior or a pattern of hurtful things that have been going on for years, let's say. And finally, you do something about it, and this person realizes, oh, actually this person's for real. And then rather than investigate and find out examples of the specific cases and specific things that they could apologize for, I apologize for saying this that time or doing this that other time, they kind of just throw out this blanket apology that apologizes for everything all at once. I'm sorry for all the ways that I've hurt you, I really am. Can you name one specific time where you did hurt me? Maybe you can remind me of one and then I'll apologize for it. Faux apology number 7, that is the angry apology. So this faux apology is just so obvious, I'm not really going to spend much time talking about it, but it's basically just yelling an apology at someone or saying it in a mean way or acting exasperated. There's no way that it's sincere. Fine, I'm sorry. Just, The 9th faux apology is the I should say I'm sorry apology. And it's really just a clever play on words. It's saying that I should apologize for that without actually doing it. So it's, I should apologize for what I said to you last night. And then it ends there. Whereas if it followed up with a real apology, it would be okay. I should really apologize for what I said last night, so I'm sorry that I did that. That would be okay. So I want to finish off with 2 deflection techniques that people use to deflect apologies altogether. I didn't really feel like they were actual faux apologies since people don't say the words I'm sorry, but they are common and I want to talk about them nonetheless. So the first one is the you know me. And it's basically a gaslighting technique. So let's say you need an apology for something. Somebody has done something, they've hurt you, and you just can't move on. You need something out of them. They might respond with this gaslighting technique, which is basically a way to flip it around and make you feel bad for even requiring an apology in the first place. And in the end, you might be the one that's actually apologizing. So it might go something like, you know me, I would never do anything like that would hurt you. I mean, how could you even think that about me? That's awful. And then by the end, you actually feel bad that you've accused this person of this thing. Meanwhile, they might have actually done something that was hurtful that actually required an apology. So gaslighting is a manipulation technique that kind of makes the victim feel like the crazy one. And it's a horrible thing. Hey, did you stain my new jacket? No, you know me. I would never disrespect you that way and wear your clothes without permission. You're wearing my jacket right now. No, I'm not. The next deflection technique is the, oh, it's no big deal technique. And this technique is basically about downplaying the action. What are you so bugged about? Like, I was just having fun. It's no big deal. The biggest problem with this technique is that they don't see it as a problem, so they're not going to stop doing it. And that's really what it comes down to. If people aren't going to make amends and change their actions moving forward so they don't keep doing the hurtful thing, and if that goes on long enough, that might be abusive behavior and you might need to get out of that relationship. All right, thanks for checking out my video about apologies. If you can think of any other ones that I've missed, throw them in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.